Hello, my name is Lauren Graham and this is my training for stakeholders in the classroom video. So to start off, rationale for incorporating cultural diversity in the classroom. One thing I wanted to note, one of my sources says in 2044, the US Census predicts that over half of the nation's population will be people of color. So it's important to remember that cultural diversity is something that's not going to go away or can be ignored, especially in the classroom, and it's only going to increase as time goes on. And so it's really important to be aware now and be ready now, because it's just going to keep climbing. And also you have students now who are culturally diverse, who come from all kinds of different backgrounds. So it's important to be ready now as it may increase in the future. Anyways, fostering inclusion and being culturally responsive now can be such a huge benefit. Being inclusive to all students and their backgrounds and letting them share can be great for students to learn about other cultures, but also to be included for other cultures. And this would support their social, emotional, and behavioral wellness overall. And so I think it's really, really great to have that, and it's such a benefit to have in the classroom. A challenge could be that some cultures maybe have different views, and so navigating that while being inclusive to both cultures and both students and both families can be challenging to navigate. However, navigating that is totally worth it, because that takes me to my next point, how incorporating diversity could affect students, their families, the classroom, and the whole staff at school. It is important to have that community. So to treat the classroom, the school like a community, and have parents talk through their cultural differences or have children talk through their cultural differences is really important and can be really, really beneficial to everyone. Or just learning from different cultures, sharing their backgrounds, sharing their food, sharing what they know. This can be so beneficial for everybody. But that only happens when you're treating the school and the classroom like a community. And so that's something that's kind of on the teacher and on the school to really invite those experiences, invite the parents, families into the school community to be able to share their past experiences, share their culture, and be included in this wonderful classroom. So that can affect everyone. And obviously, everybody affects everybody else by their actions, and so that's just one really beneficial way that it can affect them. But overall, it's really beneficial to have diversity in the classroom and in the school be expressed. So how families and other community members could assist in developing reciprocal relationships. So this is something that kind of goes off that last part, is treating the school and the classroom like a community. It is important for parents to really find those ways to connect, and the teacher can facilitate that, like having cultural nights where everybody brings their own dish of food and talks and gets to know one another, can really foster that wonderful relationship, reciprocal relationship, even in differing cultures. And so just hosting events or finding ways that students can get connected together as well as families can be really, really great. And that's something families can be participating in. Like they could host a cultural night at their house, or they could do things along those lines and just make sure that everybody is melding, but overall just be open-minded and inclusive to all other cultures. And that would be really, really great in the long run and to build those relationships. So at least 3 strategies a teacher or other stakeholder could implement in the classroom to embrace the diverse cultures and backgrounds that are represented in the class profile. So some different strategies, let me pull them up. So one strategy is encouraging students to leverage their cultural capital, is what my source says. Now what they're really trying to say here is that children should be able to express their culture and be able to have that in the classroom. So maybe if a child comes from Mexico, they have a book about what Mexican culture is like, or like we just passed Halloween, have a Dia de los Muertos book in the classroom to have that experience and to share it with other people and what their experience is like. So having those things to leverage in the classroom would be really great, or at home. So another one would be reconsidering classroom setup. So sometimes, like maybe you don't have books that would be culturally inclusive to these kids, or maybe you don't have an area that would be inclusive to these kids. So it's important to always be reframing your mind to be inclusive to everyone. And lastly, and most importantly, is build those relationships. And that's kind of what this whole thing is about, building relationships with other people, with students, is the #1 way to be inclusive and have diversity really make an impact on everyone. And that's all I have. Thank you for listening.